Good morning, boys and girls. This is Miss Kay, and I'm so glad that you were able to join me again today for our little Bible lesson for this week. Today, I want to talk to you about a very important book. As you know, sometimes when your parents buy things, buy appliances or a new car or whatever, that comes with an owner's manual. And we can all learn something from an owner's manual about how to handle that product we bought. But today we're going to talk about the Bible is God's owner's manual for us, for our life here on earth. And all the good things we can learn from it, the ways we can be close to God by reading His book. Some people call the Bible the Good News. Some people call it the Word, but I like to call it the Holy Bible. I want to read you a little story about a man named Michael who had an owner's manual, and we'll see what happened with him. Once upon a time, there was a man named Michael. One particular day, Michael was very excited. This was the day his brand new car was going to be delivered to his house. Michael had never owned a car before, but he knew that owning a car would help him in many ways. He had worked hard and saved his money for several years so he could buy the new car. The moment finally arrived. The delivery man from the car dealership pulled into the driveway with Michael's brand new shiny car. Michael was so excited. The delivery man asked, "Would you like me to go over some of the car's features with you?" Michael said, "No, that's okay. I'm sure I can figure it out by myself. Thanks anyway." The delivery man said, "Okay, but if you find that you need help, the owner's manual is in the glove compartment." The delivery man handed Michael the keys, wished him well, and left. Michael excitedly ran to his car and pulled on the door, but it wouldn't open. Michael thought to himself, "Now that's odd. The doors on the car at the dealership opened with no problem." Michael walked around the car looking into the windows, thinking how soft the seats looked. At that time, Michael's friend Scott came over. "Nice car, Michael," said Scott, "but why are you walking around the outside looking in?" Michael said, "I just got this car and the doors are stuck." Scott laughed and said, "Stuck? Did you try unlocking the doors first?" Michael said, "Oh, well, no, not yet, but I was getting to that." Michael put one of the keys into the door lock, but it wouldn't open the door, no matter how hard Michael tried to turn it. Scott said, "You better be careful or you'll break that key off in the lock. That key is the car's trunk. Try the other key." Michael replied, "I was just getting to that too." Michael finally unlocked the car doors and sat behind the wheel. He breathed in deeply and said, "Don't you just love that new car smell?" Scott said, "Yes, it's a great smell. Let's see how the radio sounds." After several attempts and some guidance from Scott, Michael finally got the radio turned on. "Oh, great. I got a radio that plays the wrong station and the sound is much too low," Michael complained. Scott groaned and said, "Michael, you push these buttons to change the radio station and turn that knob to adjust the volume. Haven't you read the owner's manual yet? That's the first thing I did when I bought my new car." Michael said, "No, not yet. I've been too busy. But I'll get around to it sometime. Right now, I want to take this beauty out for a little drive." Scott said, "Be careful, Michael, and please wear your seatbelt." Michael said, Scott, think you could give me a hand with this seatbelt?" Scott walked over and helped Michael get the seatbelt adjusted and warned, "I hope you know what you're doing." With that, Michael backed out of the driveway. Much to Michael's surprise, the car kept going backwards. He turned the wheel and pushed some buttons, but the car kept going backwards. With great horror, Scott watched as Michael backed his brand new car right into a tree. The car was ruined. Scott ran over to Michael and said, "Why didn't you stop?" Michael said, "Oh, I didn't know how." Poor Michael. If he had read his owner's manual, he would have known all the answers to all these problems he faced when he was looking at his new car. But you know what? Many people go through life without referring to the owner's manual God gave us. This owner manual, the Bible, can help us have a richer, more fulfilled life in so many ways. It is wise to read the Bible often and follow the guidelines God has laid out for us. So many people are on the outside trying to find a way in, just like Michael when he was trying to unlock his car doors. People may try different keys or methods to get to heaven, but Jesus told us that he is the only way. We must trust Jesus and ask him to forgive us for the bad things we have done. After that, we should read the Bible and pray to God. If we do, we will have a much happier life. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about the Bible. Some of you children that have been in my classes know that we've talked about the Bible, and there's an Old Testament and a New Testament. And from cover to cover, the Bible is the very best thing you can read. And I want to give you a little task to do while you're home. I have 2 verses I'd like you to look up. The first one is in the Old Testament, and it is Psalm 107:1. And I'll spell that for you just in case you have a little trouble with how it's spelled. Psalm 107:1. That means you're going to look in the book of Psalm. You're going to find chapter 107, and you're going to read verse 1. It's a very good verse. It's one of my favorites. And then in the New Testament, I'd like you to look up John 3:16. That is a very special verse to everybody in the whole world. If you have a little trouble finding it, maybe you can ask one of your family members. If you don't have a Bible, you can actually look up the Bible on the internet, like on your phone or your tablet or something like that. But I'd like you to do me an extra special favor this week and look up these 2 verses and read them and maybe even try to memorize them. Well, I hope you have a good week. I can't believe it's the last week of school here in Jackson County. My goodness, it has just flown by. And I hope you have a wonderful summer. And please read these verses and think on them and apply them to your heart. I love you, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.